We go. All right, so let's come to a comfortable seat and take a moment to close your eyes and just kind of drop down into you. Okay. Um, Happy Martin Luther King Day. Uh, what would he be thinking if he were alive today? And this morning in the Grateful Living text that I get every morning, there was a beautiful quote. I was going to go looking for a quote to inspire me for the day, and one just arrived in my inbox by him. So here it is. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. I love I love this quote. I think it speaks a lot to how to proceed, that we need to be the peace we want to seek in the world. So on that note, let's go ahead and let our practice kind of steep us in this peacefulness so that we can generate it within us a little bit more easily. So as you close your eyes, settle into your posture and just take stock. How are you today? How have you been in the last couple of days? How is your body? How are your spirits? How's your mind? How has your sleep been? How has your routines of caring for self been? So just taking notice how you are, a pause to look inward. And then ask yourself the question, what do you need? When we take a little time to notice what's happening within us, oftentimes the answer to that question, what do we need, can arrive more easily when we're in a contemplative space than when we're distracted or busy. So give yourself the opportunity to let that answer kind of bubble up during your practice. It doesn't have to be instantaneous. And with your eyes opened or closed, your choice, always your choice for everything. Let's come into the breath and see if you can have a little bit of breath restoration where maybe you haven't paid attention to your breath much yet today. And we can give ourselves the capacity to fill and empty fully and slowly. Let your breath expand to its edges a little bit more fully than when we are unconsciously breathing. And as you slow the breath down and pay attention, just notice what's coming into the mind and the heart and the body as you give yourself an opportunity to quiet the chatter and look a little deeper below the surface. Finding that ujjayi breath where we hear the sound of our breathing, we kind of constrict the throat just a little bit to allow the opportunity for the breath to have a narrow passageway that we pass the breath through quietly and slowly so that you can hear the sound of your breath gently inside your ears. Maybe it sounds like the ocean to you. Maybe it sounds like the wind to you. If it feels comfortable to do a four-part breath, we'll begin that. And of course, at any time, if your breath feels labored or you have to kind of take a break in between and just have a breath that feels a little less intensely long, that's fine too. So just find the rhythm that works for you. Try not to overtax. So we don't want to stretch too long for box breathing. So I think you all know, but just very simply coming into the 4-part breath evenly on all 4 sides, hence the box, 4 sides. Okay, so matching the inhale and the pause after the inhale, the exhale, and the pause after the exhale. And you might count inside your mind. You might just sense time instead of counting time. But see if you can find a breath pattern that works for you where these 4 parts of the breath, the inhale, the exhale, and the spaces in between the inhale and in between the exhale and the inhale. See what it feels like to have equality. Nice and slow, but not too slow where you feel the need for a gulping of breath. So dole out your pace as best as you can. Listening to the sound of your own breath. Of course, breathing through the nose. If it helps you to count, absolutely count. And when you complete that bottom of the exhale, pause on your next inhale. If you notice that you're very hungry, you can be a little hungry for the breath, but if you're very hungry for the breath, then count less. Try to have a little less length in your pattern so that you can manage those pauses with a little bit more ease. As you're doing this, relax your shoulders. Soften all around your skull and your face, your jaw, your eyes, your tongue. Get the feeling that your chest can lift, your heart can lift, you can have a good support of your shoulder blades, that the posture can stay. You don't have to slouch to do this breathing well. You might find that you naturally want to exhale a little bit longer than all the other parts. And that's very normal. It just means that your nervous system is starting to regulate and downgrade, which is a good sign. But see what you can do to stay in that 4-part breath. If your exhale needs a little time, don't shortcut it, but just try to not be as slow so that you can find that equality. What are you doing during the pauses? Rest, relax, surrender. Let the mind suspend. And the next time you get around to the end of the exhale and the end of that pause at the end of the exhale, you can cease the pauses and just return to the natural fullness of your inhale, followed by the exhale, followed by the inhale. Let the new breath be refreshing. Let the exhale be releasing. And you can put words to that if you'd like, a mantra to the breath. What are you inviting in? What refreshment are you inviting in? What are you releasing out? What are you ready to let go of? Okay, and it can be as simple as that. It can also be no words and just experiencing the rhythm of your breath. Again, relaxing the shoulders and feeling your groundedness. Are you a little more here in your body and in this moment? Bring the hands together at the heart, and perhaps an answer to that question, what do you need, is arising. Offer an intention for yourself. And then release the hands. And let's find our way onto our back. So the peace is the means. So how can your practice help you to develop a sense of inner peace? There's so much that can pull us away from this sense of inner peace. So use your practice as the opportunity to really come home to that and cultivate that within yourself. Stretch your arms overhead and find some reaching in your body. The right side a little longer, the left side a little longer. And then when you're ready, bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit, a little swaying from side to side. See if you can maintain the healthy, beautiful, full, long breaths that we've been warming up to in our practice. Let's hang on to the knees and circle and let your head rest. Imagine that there's zero agenda to your practice, that there's nothing to accomplish, there's no tasks to achieve. We're just in presence with our breath and body, no matter the posture. Open up your knees away from the middle and bring them back in toward the middle and just explore. Notice what your body feels. Keep that sense of resting your head down onto the ground. Reach your right leg long on the ground, bring your left knee into your chest and go ahead and wiggle your toes and free up your feet. Say hello to your feet. Okay. Maybe you've had shoes on for a lot of the day already. Maybe you have that little hobbling that can happen when you get out of bed. Do you have stiff feet when you wake up? What's the state of your feet today? Okay, switching sides, other knee in, give a good compression, move around in the feet, maybe a flex and a point, letting your ankles move, feeling that kind of energy roll up into your shins and calves a little bit. And then stretch out to a star on the ground, lengthening your body wide. Let's roll our wrists and our ankles. Take a deep breath in. Melt your exhale. One more time, expand open to a star. Exhale, draw your knees into your chest. Pick up your head. Let's do that twice more. Find your breath. Beautiful inhale, expansive. Beautiful exhale, condensing. Once more. Put your feet onto the ground. Put your arms out to the side and let's windshield wiper our knees left and right. And feel free to go deeper into the twisting. If your body wants a little deeper in the twisting, you can lift up your top leg and swing it a little deeper over to the side if you'd like. All right. And then pause for a moment. Put your feet onto the ground. Bring your hands onto your low belly and just feel yourself breathe. So, we don't have to do that box breathing right now, but we can feel our belly move as we inhale. And feel our belly move as we exhale. Try to release any restriction to the breath. And you can move your hands anywhere you want. Maybe you want to put them right at your diaphragm. Maybe you want to have your hands on your sides, feeling your ribs, maybe up high on your chest. Just give your body the weight of your hands as a reminder to breathe fully. Wherever your hands are, breathe into them. Give yourself permission to open up, that nothing has to be restricted. All right, and then we'll stretch to a star one more time. Draw the knees in. Roll over to your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. As you find all fours, give a little weight into the right side, give a little weight into the left side. Have that sense of yield. Give yourself over to the ground. And then let's open our way up for breath here. See if you can just let your belly fall completely. Full breath in. And then as you exhale, draw the navel to the spine and round the spine. Inhale, maybe an arch of the back as you inhale now. So the tail lifts, the head lifts. Exhale, rounding the spine. Taking your time, move slowly with the breath. If we're looking for the peace that we want to be out in the world, we need to find it inside first. So let your breath, the slowness of your breath, be a balm to your nervous system so that we know peace. If our nervous system is heightened and we don't feel a sense of calm and safety, then peace will be elusive. So let's kind of come at the mind through the body, through the breath. We'll use the body and breath as a tool to help relax the mind. And then wag your tail or move your shoulders or move your ribs or any kind of movement that you want, remembering that we're still breathing. No matter what we're doing, we're breathing. And then settle back toward a child's pose. Walk the hands out in front of you. Maybe turn your palms up for a moment so you feel that external rotation in your shoulders. Relax your hands. Drop some weight down into your sit bones and stretch your shoulders. Turn your palms back down. We'll walk the hands over to one side of the mat and stretch your rib cage fully. A breath in here, a breath out here. Relax the base of the skull. And then walk the hands over to your other side and feel that reaching through the body. Every time you have a new sensation, let the mind kind of drop into that sensation, bring presence into the body. Okay, coming back to center, up onto all fours, move your spine around again. Maybe a little wagging of the tail or moving through your ribs. And let's find our twist, reaching the arm up in the air. Exhale, slide that arm under, twisting to the side. Relax the skull. Breathing full and deep. And then we'll inhale and bring that arm all the way back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. We'll switch sides. Arm up high, roll your wrist a little bit, drop that shoulder down. Find the breath. Move the breath into the twist, move the twist into the breath. And then inhale, reach that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. We'll find our way up to a dog pose and take a little time here pedaling your feet. Feel that sense of grounding. Maybe drop one heel down and let it really anchor and settle. Maybe taking your time. You don't have to pedal fast. You can if you want, but you can pedal nice and slow. Give yourself a little time to express yourself in this pose, to feel the yielding of the earth, to make contact with hands and feet, to know where you are, to feel yourself come into your breath, to give yourself the opportunity to invite the nourishment of the inversion. When our head drops down, there's a peacefulness just even in that. Fill and empty your breath.
Coming home into your body. And then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. A forward fold. Relax your head. Find your breath. Bobble your head a little bit. Take your hands to the base of your skull and gently pull down and tuck your chin. Use the hands to do the tucking so that you're nice and passive through your spine as you stretch. Release that. Bring your hands onto blocks or legs and extend to a half lift. Take a little time here. Move around if you'd like. Wag your tail, move your hips, bend a knee, pedal your feet. Just kind of find some exploration of a little bit of movement in the body. And then ground again. Settle into the deep surrender. Soften through your skull. Push through your feet, rising up. Bring your arms upward to the sky. Open the heart. Expand open with your chest. Bend your elbows. Lift your heart. Tuck your teeth. Touch your teeth and lift your chin. And then exhale and round in, palms together, and pause and Samastitihi, hands together. Feel that fullness of your breath in, fullness of your breath out. Check in with your diaphragm. Make sure nothing's in the way, that you're not restricting yourself in any way. The breath can be full and free. It's amazing what we can do to tighten up the breath, to restrict the breath. So let's keep checking in and making sure we are open and free. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Reach back a little bit, spread your wings, and then exhale and float forward. Relax your head. A halfway lift, extending through your spine, maybe hands on blocks, maybe on your legs. Exhale and melting to fold again. One more time, a halfway lift. Sit bones high, stretch the backs of your legs, feel it all the way into your feet. And then exhale, long exhale, all the way down to an Uttanasana. Step back to a dog pose again. Hands on the ground, feet on the ground, yield, give your weight. Feel the surrender through your skull. Full breath in, long breath out, nothing restricting the breath. When your inhale comes, come forward into a plank, and even though there's strength involved here, can you still have nothing restrict the breath? Might need to have a little more effort to bring the breath in because there's a lot of strength, but you can still breathe deeply here. All right, we'll put our knees down on the ground and find the earth. Roll those shoulders, and when you're ready, a cobra. Open up through your chest. Exhale, melting back down. One more time. Rising up, elbows stay a little bent. Exhale and release to come back down. Come up onto all fours. Give your spine a little swish. Back to a child's pose. Remember, there's no agenda. We have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. There's only the breath. There's only the sensations of the body to pay attention to. Are you comfortable in this pose? If not, change something. Can you just offer something that's stressful to you and just let it release into the ground? Give way. The earth has so much capacity to hold. So let's just drop on that exhale something into the earth. And come back up, and we'll bring our right foot forward. Left knee stays onto the ground. Pause here, stretching up through, open through that hip flexor. Feel a sense of lift. Maybe bring your hands onto your knee and extend again. Okay, hands onto the blocks. Lift your back knee up off the ground. Find a lunge. Let's start to bend and straighten here. We're finding our way into that openness of the back of the front leg, the hamstring, the calf. Move through your pelvis. Feel that back and forth as you bend and straighten. Move with the breath. Be so slow and patient with yourself. Sometimes moving slowly is such a beautiful way of really coming home into the breath and letting that piece of the breath filter through the body. Is your body starting to tell your mind that all is well? Ground yourself. Inhale, rise up, lift the heart. Feel that extension as you open up. Crescent lunge. A big full breath in. A big breath out. All right, we'll bring our back foot forward. Come to Uttanasana. Maybe touch your toes. Maybe you like a chair pose with your feet hip width apart. So your choice in how you land. Inhale for a halfway lift here first, extending through the body. And then exhale and melt. Drop your sit bones, bend your knees. Inhale, rise up to a chair. We'll come up onto the toes, feel that extension, and then come back down onto the heels and sit yourself in your chair. You can have your hands at your heart or your hands up over your head, finding your breath. Long, steady exhales. Nothing's restricting the breath. One more time, up onto your toes, feeling that extension in the body. Exhale and float forward. A halfway lift, opening through the spine. Exhale, right knee comes, or right leg comes back. Place your knee down onto the ground. Open up the hip flexors of that right leg and just enjoy. Finding the breath. Coming up onto your hands, onto your knee perhaps. Notice if you're sinking, try not to sink, press into the ground, rising up. Slow and steady with the breath. Let's curl the toes under, lift that back knee up off the ground, and we'll begin to bend and straighten through your front knee. Be slow. So even if you typically move through this very fast, for today, train your mind and your body to move slowly. Long, steady exhales. Now feel free, forget that box breath. Feel free to let the exhales take their nice long stroll. There's nothing restricting us at the bottom of our exhale. We can breathe in again, so we can just let the exhale take as long as we want. Round into your legs. Don't forget to keep breathing. Push up, crescent lunge, arms to the sky. Feel the fullness of this pose, the heart lifting and expansive, coming off your pelvis, reaching into space. Keep the neck soft, the base of the skull relaxed. Nothing restricting the breath. Hands back down onto the ground, back to a dog. Feel that extension in your body and breathe here. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Lower yourself all the way to the ground. Choose your favorite variation of a back bend that's on the ground here. And just feel your body stretch open and breathe. Relax. Put your head onto your hands so you have a little pocket for your nose, or turn your head, whichever feels better. Explore the feeling of your body breathing. Can you feel your spine change shape? Can you feel your rib cage change shape as you breathe in and out? Can you surrender something to the ground? Bring your hands back underneath you. Come up onto all fours. Maybe a little bit of movement through your spine again. Curl the toes under, lift to a dog pose, and experience the inversion on your exhale. Melt, let something go. Let's walk our feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Push through your feet, rising up. Trace down through the center. Pause and Stamastitihi again. Nothing's restricting your breath. Feel your feet, ground yourself. Unlocking knees, unlocking diaphragm, unlocking pelvic floor, unlocking shoulders. Slow and steady breath in, followed by the slow and steady exhale. Release your hands down and let's turn to the side and take some wide legs. So open up your legs. Let's just warm them up into this external rotation a little bit. So bend your knees, come forward with your torso. So a deep squat, arms on the inner knees, or forearms or elbows on the inner knees to press them open. Drop your sit bones. Maybe you like pulsing your sit bones downward a few times. Maybe stillness is better for your body. Can you feel the groundedness of the 4 points of each foot? And then inhale, come all the way back up, standing. Find your breath. Nothing's restricting the breath. Turn your right foot out. Find your inhale, reach the arms up. And as your exhale comes, we'll find Virabhadrasana. And maybe today your Virabhadrasana is very high. Maybe today your Virabhadrasana is very low. So just kind of find what's working for your body today. Be gentle and kind to yourself. We'll move with breath. Inhale, straighten your leg, arms overhead. Exhale, coming back to Vira 2. Hands come to center. Straighten the leg, back to Vira. Let's pause here. Breathe here. Nothing's restricting your breath. Full breath in. A long, steady breath out. Ground through both legs. Reverse your warrior if it feels nice. Reach that arm up, extend, look up, and then straighten your leg and we'll find our way to a triangle pose. Maybe the hand comes onto a block. Maybe your hand is resting on your leg. Be gentle if your hand's on your leg. We're not bearing weight and sinking. We're light. Root into both feet well. Extend the spine. Turn and rotate your torso. Nothing is restricting your breath. From here, bend your knee. Swing that arm over, coming into Parsvottanasana. Your hand can be on a block or your elbow can be on your knee, and enjoy the stretch and the length in your body. And we'll come out of the pose, turn, walk your feet over to the other side. So we're turning our left foot out and we're finding, where is the height for your posture today? How are your joints feeling? Is there anything that you need to take care of? Okay. And we'll start to move with breath. Inhale, straighten your arms overhead, legs straight. Exhale, Vira. Inhale, gather up to the center with your hands, legs straight. Exhale, come into the pose. Find your breath. Nothing's restricting your breathing. Your shoulders are relaxed. The ribs get to move. The belly gets to move. The pelvic floor gets to move. We can have this billowing out on the in-breath and strengthening and condensing on the out-breath. So there's dynamic movement in your torso as you breathe. Let's reverse your warrior. Reach that arm up. Feel the extension in your body. Full breaths. Straighten your leg when you feel ready. Triangle pose, bringing the hand to rest on the block or on your leg. Lightness on that block or leg. Reach the other arm up in the air. Nothing's restricting you. Feel the full length of your spine. Maybe as you exhale, you rotate a little bit more to turn open. Are your legs stable and grounding? Try not to hyperextend the front knee. We're nice and solid in our legs. What feels good in your body right now? Okay. Come on up and come into Parsva elbow on your knee. Stretch your arm overhead and enjoy. A deeply grounded pose. Relax your palms. Relax your neck, the base of your skull. Try not to let anything restrict your capacity to breathe deeply here. And we're not breathing up into our neck, we're breathing into our rib cage. Feel the diaphragm move. Are you getting that sense of grounding through your legs, feeling the earth? Can you relax your palms, the base of your skull, your eyes? Okay, come back up, wide legs, standing star. Find that sense of symmetry, and then we'll come into an inversion. Turn your feet forward, grab some blocks if you'd like, you don't have to, and take any variation of Pasrita that feels right to your body. You can have hands on blocks or hands on the ground. You can have hands out in front of you like dog pose. You can have your hands in line with your feet. Your head can come to the ground. Your head can hang. Your head can be on a block. Lengthen through your spine no matter what you're choosing to do. And if you really are enjoying the inversion, have your head supported on something. Maybe stick a block underneath your head if the ground is too far away. Nothing's restricting the breath. Full reach in through the rib cage. The diaphragm is mobile. Surrender and melt through your head. Bring your hands back to a neutral place. Pick your head up off the block or ground. Heel toe your feet in back to neutral with your legs. And we're going to come down onto all fours. So turn to the long edge of your mat again. And have a moment to cat-cow. Find your breath. Restore your breathing. Restore your spine. We're going to take Vasisthasana with our knee down onto the ground. So right hand, right knee, left foot coming onto the ground. Find your breath, look up. And then maybe stretch your arm overhead and feel that full goodness through the side of your body. Shoulder blade down the back, open up through your hip. Open up through your ribs. All right, and then come back to center and switch to the other side. Left hand, left knee, right foot lined up. Your shin is perpendicular to your body. And stretch that arm if you want overhead. You do not have to do this. Your hand can be on your hip. Your hand can be in the sky. Find what works for you. Extending through the side, breathing into your body. Keep that left shoulder blade firm on the back. And then exhale back onto all fours, a cat-cow. And then find your way into a child's pose. Compress through your legs. Your arms can be down at your sides if you'd like. Right, come up to a seat on your heels for a moment. Just let your legs compress in the Virasana, lift your heart. Nothing restricting your breath. Slowly exhales down. We're going to do a few forward folds. Forward folds often can give the feedback to the nervous system that all is well, but we want to do it with lots and lots of support so our body feels secure. So we're going to do a pigeon pose, and you take whatever propping you need for a pigeon pose. And that back leg, your toes can curl under or your leg can be straight. Just make sure your leg is straight back behind you. And of course, you can be in a reverse pigeon pose if you need a different posture. Lengthen through your spine, find the up before the down. And then when you feel ready, we can come forward and put your head on a block wherever it lands. Readjust. You want your hips square. Feel that back leg, your left leg surrender. See if you can get some weight into that half of the pelvis and drop it down. Wide sit bones, long spine. And then remember, nothing is restricting the breath. Relax your palms, let them turn open. Soften your shoulders. And remember the full inhale and the long exhale. The support of your head on a block is meaningful. It's not just there to, give you a rest. It's there to cue the nervous system that all is well. Can you be the peace that you seek? Okay. What you wish was happening on the outside, can you create it on the inside? When you're ready, let's transition to the other side. Okay, so find your pose. You might need more props, less props. You might need a different pose. Okay, so there's always choices in your body, and always never assume something. So you might have something going on in your body today that makes it so that the pose isn't as fruitful or deep, or maybe today's the day where you're like, yes, look at how free I feel. So just meet yourself where you are instead of wishing you were somewhere else or attaching to where you are if you're feeling really good. Just be where you are, non-attachments. Settle yourself into the posture, rest your head, adjust if you need to so that the hips stay square, the sit bones can widen. You can have that ever so slight anterior tilt to the pelvis. Long spine so that the ribs have lots of soft space to breathe and move. Melt your head onto the block. And if you can't reach the block, melt your head onto your hands. Something for your forehead to rest upon. Mouth through your jaw, maybe do a lion's breath. Is there any tension through your face that you need to let go of? Is there any shaking of your cheeks that you need to do on your exhales? Is there any tension in the base of your skull? Is there anything restricting your breath? All right, and then we'll come out when you feel ready. We're going to take that blanket and stick it underneath our sit bones and grab a strap. Janu Shirshasana. We're going to do this slightly differently. Grab your blocks. You can do one of two things. You can have a block on your shin to rest your head upon. You can build a little, if you have a bolster, you can put 2 blocks with the bolster on top. Yeah, and then you can also rest 2 blocks like this, have your hands, your elbows on the block so your head can rest on something. So be prepared for something for your forehead to rest on. Be creative, whatever you've got, depending on how deep you go into this pose. But let's start with the strap. Grab on, lift up. Feel the groundedness through your sit bones, a slight anterior tilt of the pelvis, stretching forward and finding your breath. Nothing is restricting your breathing. And then once you get to the place with the strap that your body is going to be comfortable supporting, navel to spine, you're using core support, your thigh is grounding, then take your block or blocks or elbows on blocks and head in hands. There's lots of choices. Do something where your head feels supported. Now, just because your head's supporting doesn't mean we let go of all the strength in this posture. So it's not passive. It's very active. Ground your leg, navel to spine, long spine, and rest your head. Okay, we'll come back up. Take the other side, left leg. Be creative with how you're going to support yourself. And you might need more support. You might need a blanket or something under your knee. Maybe your knee's a little unhappy. Get the flesh of your buttocks out of the way so you feel that groundedness, so you can sense the anterior tilt of the pelvis. Start with a strap around your foot. Reach up high, lengthen your spine. Feel the lift of the heart as you come forward instead of collapsing downward. Grounding your leg, navel to spine. Find the fullness of your pose. Once you're in a place where you're self-supporting, grab your props. So maybe can't, maybe your forearm, your elbows are resting on 2 blocks, where you have some height, some extra height. There's always a way. So just kind of experiment to figure out the way you want your blocks to support you. So your head can rest in your hands or on a block if you're that deep in the pose. Ground through your leg, navel to spine, long spine, flex your toes. Nothing's restricting your breath. Melt your exhales. And then we'll come out of that pose. 2 legs straight for a moment. We're not going to support this one just with the strap. Just to find neutral through our sacrum, lift up through your spine, flex your toes, engage your core, thighs press down, engage your quads, lengthen forward, tuck your chin. Just feeling that full back body. Coming back up, we'll come onto our back. Grab a block. We're going to put it underneath our pelvis for a bridge pose. Can be at whatever height, so 1 or 2 blocks underneath you, your choice. And just let this kind of counter the forward folds. Nice and gentle. Put your feet on the ground. I mean, you could always straighten your legs if you'd like. If that feels better, you can even stretch your arms overhead. So find what feels right for your body. Nothing's restricting the breath. Maybe you can bring your hands back onto your belly or your ribs, like wherever you were in the beginning of class. Notice if there's a little more awareness, if there's a little more spacious movement in this area of your body than there was in the beginning. And then we'll turn this into an inversion and just let the inversion be another cue to the nervous system that all is well. Melt your legs. Feel them suspend right over your pelvis like it's effortless to hold them there. All right, and then we'll bring our legs slowly, slowly down. Lift that block up, get it out of there, and we'll prepare for Shavasana. Let's do a twist. Hips over to the right, knees to the left. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Melt your head. Nothing's restricting the breath. Come back to center. Scoot your hips left, drop knees right, twisting open. Long exhales. And then come back to center. If there's anything that your body needs, do it and prepare for Shavasana. So you might want some support underneath your knees. You can make a bolster out of 2 long blocks next to each other and then a blanket on top of them. If you don't have a bolster, this is a good homemade bolster. Sometimes having a little support underneath the knees can be very helpful to relax the belly, relax the hips, relax the back. Okay, so kind of find what works for you. If you're all chilled, make sure you're warm, make sure you don't have bright lights on you, make sure you're not touching weird things like a strap. See if you can just come into a tend to your positioning so that when you melt into Shavasana, there's nothing to distract you and everything to support you. And once you get to a comfortable position, again, tend to the breath and make sure nothing's restricting it. Give yourself over to melting. Give yourself to the breath. Let's begin to deepen our breathing. Melt one more time on your exhale. Give yourself the patience to move slowly. Taking your time, feeling your way onto your side. And then, as you're ready, you will come pushing yourself up, slow and steady. Breath in, and the breath out. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. Can you be the peace you seek? And let's offer the peace of our practice, whatever we've gained. Let's offer it outward. Send your energy. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.